So I got the old bird back in here. I did end up changing the wheels and tires on this thing. So what I had on there was ET drags. They were 28 1050. Now I have a ET Street, which is a 26 1050. So what I'm doing in here today is I'm going to be changing the carburetor. Right now I do have the Pro Systems SV1 on there, and my air fuel ratio gauge stopped working over the winter for whatever reason. So I'm not sure where I'm at on that, but what I had done was I ordered a brand new carburetor, a blow-through carburetor, which is a Holley 850. So I'm going to take this Pro Systems SV1 off of here, and I'm going to change the plugs, change the oil, basic tune-up on this thing. This is a 436 cubic inch small block Chevy, and I'm going to be putting the turbo kit back on this engine. So I do have an engine, or a video with that engine with a turbo on it running on an engine run stand. I'll include that in the description. But let's get to that carburetor. I'll show you that new carburetor. And also, let me know what you think of these wheels and tires. I picked these up last year. They've been in the boxes. I haven't had time to even mess with this car. Just put some front runners on there, which are 165 by 180 15 inch. It's time to get this car back out. I'm tired of it sitting. I'm tired of working on everybody else's shit. It's time to work on my own. Here's that carburetor. Alright, so here it is. Take it out of the box here. They did include a gasket. Here's what we're looking at. SQ850BT has 76 squirters in the front, 84 in the rear, 4.5 power valve, 31 squirters, and 100 on the holes in the blades. And these do have annular boosters, so throttle response should be pretty good. So I will get this old carburetor off of there, get the new one on, and then we'll worry about the turbo kit next. Alright, so I got this carburetor on here. I had to shorten my fuel line, obviously going from 4500 where the fuel inlets are wider than the 4150. So I had to shorten this line 2 inches and then get my throttle cable set up, and then I went ahead, pulled this valve cover, got the headers out of there, had to pull the starter obviously, and I'm down this far. So what I'm doing is I pulled the headers out, got all the exhaust off, doing away with all this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the stuff off of this, because these are actually the headers for that car. They've already been on the car, and that's, or well, the engine. That's why they're bronze. They're discolored from the heat. So get all this turbo set up and put it on the car. So here I am with that. I'm going to pull these off of here and start bolting them up to the car. Alright guys, so I have this turbo set up somewhat on here, which it's most of the way on here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me grab a light. So there's a couple things that I've had to do. I do have my headers on there. I did clearance for the number 3 spark plug a little bit, which is common on these builds here, but and then in the back here is for my oil feed. I didn't have that set up like that before on the engine run stand, but I had to do that in the car obviously due to the firewall. And then I did have to just smack on the firewall a little bit to be able to turn that, get it tight. But we got that far, and I did get this header on as well. obviously. Turbo's sitting on it. And the exhaust isn't going to run this way. I literally just got this on not that long ago. Actually, yesterday, I think. So there's that new carburetor. I'm waiting on a new turbo hat, new carb hat for this. It's kind of hard to find a 3-inch. They got 3.5, they got 4. It's really a pain to find 3, and I don't want to run a reducer. I did turn my turbo down as well, not because of hood clearance, because it's not going to matter anyway. It's pretty close, and I don't want to cut my hood out because it was cut out already for a scoop, and that would look kind of weird. So I'll probably get a different hood and cut it out for this. So a couple little other things. Who knows where my top radiator shroud went that covers the whole top. So I looked at it for the hose, and they're $100 and some for one. I just went ahead and made some brackets, and it's not going anywhere. It's nice and tight. And then I had a couple bolts on here that rusted. I changed those out. A couple little things. So waiting on that carb hat. I just bought one, so it'll be here next week. It's coming from somewhere. I bought it online. And then, like I said, I turned my turbo down. It was kind of angled up this direction with the 45. And then my hat, the old hat, was kind of angled up this direction. The new one's going to come down. So that's what I'm working on right now. So step by step, we're getting a little bit closer. And then my oil drain, I went ahead and got that on. And then my crossover pipe on the bottom side of the car, it's all on. I did have to drill a new hole in the connecting pipe for the O2, because on the header, on the driver's side, where the bung is, you can't get the wideband in there. It just points up to the floor. So, and then I also had to order another AEM gauge because mine took a shit for whatever reason. Sitting over the winter, the gauge stopped working. So they do offer a replacement O2 sensor, but they don't offer a replacement AEM gauge, a wideband gauge. This is the 0300. It's hard to see, but that's what I got. I gotta wait on the new one to show up, and I'll go ahead and get that in because I definitely want to be able to see my air-fuel ratio. So, all right, that's the next step. We're getting a little bit closer.
Right, so the turbo hat come in, got it on there. I had to shorten a little bit of it under here and shorten a little piece here to get everything lined up. But it looks good. It's on there. It's straight. Of course, we don't have hood clearance, so I took my hood off and I ripped it down the street a couple times. Had a massive oil leak, which is kind of crazy. I was looking for it, and for some reason it was down here on the block off plate. So I tightened it up. I'm like, I've driven this thing, 2-3 times since last year, since I put this engine in. Never had a leak, so I'm like, what the hell's going on? I just put my exhaust straight up for now. It's gonna get, hopefully I can squeeze it down through here and run duals out the back. So this thing screams. I did get my air-fuel ratio gauge. I don't have it in, but unfortunately it's a little bit different. It looks the same on the exterior, but it's a little bit different on the plug-in. So I can't just pull that one out and stick the new one in and hope it works. I gotta do all the wiring again. So I'll get that figured out. That way I can kind of tune from this point, and then I'll get a boost gauge on there. I haven't touched anything as far as that goes, but I wanted to show you guys where I'm at on this thing so far. So I'll get some videos of it cruising, and we'll just kind of play with it here and there, and that's about it. So if you guys got any questions. Oh, and one other thing, of course I knew this was a no-no, and I knew it was going to be a big issue, but these boots, yeah, I already blew one off. And then the next thing is, you could see them expanding here, so those definitely got to go. I'm gonna have to put in a V-band here and then a solid piece of aluminum, but if that's all the issue I have, that's not too big of a deal. I'm not real worried about it. So all right guys, that's it for now, and we'll catch you on the next one.